You look so pretty.
Even you look so good
Thank you.
now.
Thank you. I know. I'm not
all
done.
in your profession. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to put on here. All right, are we ready? We're ready. Going live.
Yes, I'm ready. Let me wear my specs because I can't read otherwise if someone writes.
Oh, that's good for like comments and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Here we go. We're live. All right. Hello, everyone. So good to have you here, and hoping that you can see everyone. Actually, I hope you can see Shika and I both, so it's not just me this time.
Hello.
Yeah.
I hope you guys can see me because I can't see anything.
Can you see if you go on Facebook?
I can see only Carmen.
Well,
I can see only Carmen.
So if you haven't met Shika before, Shika is one of my most fabulous friends. She is from India, and she. So it's not just me this time. Hold on.
Hello.
Yeah.
I hope you guys can see me because I can't see anything.
Can you see if you go on Facebook?
I can see only Carmen.
Well,
I can see only.
Okay, hold on. Can you see me now? Can you hear me okay, Shika?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. So we are here and we are talking about sisterhood today and tribes, and we're totally doing it imperfectly because that's how we do things.
We are imperfect people.
That's right. Exactly. I love it. So
that's what we love about ourselves, I think.
Seriously, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yes. Imperfect. We totally allow it to be imperfect. So I was thinking about sisterhood as I was getting ready for this, and I was like, this is the perfect day to do sisterhood stuff because I am sick. I have like a huge zit on my face right now, right there. I don't know if you can see it. And it's totally in these times when I'm feeling like crappy and icky and all of this kind of stuff that I start realizing how incredibly important it reminds me how incredibly important the sisterhood is and how much I need the sisterhood. So I hope you guys can see me because I can't see it. Oh my! Whenever I click on
oh my God! Why am I listening? Hello. My voice is coming back to me. Is it okay?
Is it? Can you hear okay now? Is it okay?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, but in between, my voice comes back to me.
Okay. Well, I'll try to stop it. See, again, imperfectly. Ta-da! Okay, so I asked if you would think about some sisterhood stuff. So what do you think about sisterhood stuff? What were some of the things that you came up with about sisterhood or why it's important?
For me, I think it's very important to have girlfriends in your life because there are few things which only a girl can understand. So that's why I feel sisterhood is very, very important. And in my life, I have experienced many a times that all the females, they don't believe in this, I think. Sometimes you feel that not everyone is believing this philosophy of sisterhood, I would say. So most of the time I have seen, especially in India, I have seen females pulling down females. So even as a child also, I used to think this, that why we are the same tribe, we are the same people, why do we have so much of hatred for each other, or jealousy, or these kind of things. I think a women can do so much for each other. So that's why I feel that sisterhood is very, very important in our life. And because there are few things which we love, man, we love them, they're fine, they're good people, but there are few things which they don't understand because they are made differently,
Yeah.
because they are from a different planet.
Yeah, they
So
totally are.
so that's why yeah, so that is why so that is why it is very important to have girlfriends in your life and have sisters in your life, so that I think it they make you they make myself understand me better.
Hmm.
I think when I talk to, there are many a time I have few friends, when I'm talking to them, I'm understanding myself better. Even while we are in a conversation, there are few things which they, oh yes, this is that, which I am struggling for so long. If I talk to the stuff with a friend, so it's like a spark in your mind or in your heart, that okay, that's it.
Yeah.
So for me, it is, I feel it is very important. It's very, very
That's so
important for
interesting.
me.
I think that like one of the yeah, that makes me think. All of your stuff makes me think about a lot of stuff. One of the things that I thought actually about my girlfriends is that like I love my husband, and he can't do it all for me. Like he can't be everything for me. And when we first got married, I really wanted him to be like absolutely everything.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like
yeah,
unfair even to ask it to be absolutely everything, you know? And
yes,
so I think that like my girlfriends have been really, really important for that, for giving me all of that stuff. And kind of leading that into what you said there of like, I think something that women are really, really, really good at is learning from each other. I think along
yes.
with that will come this like judgment a lot of times. And I've thought about this. I
Mm-hmm.
think that like one of the things about like one of the reasons why that might happen is because we're sitting there and we're in this place of trying to learn from each other. And when somebody says something, we'll be like, oh well, I don't want to do it that way. Almost like we've learned, well, I don't want to do it that way, which I think is great. It's just then
Yeah,
it puts the judgment on the other person of being like, well, you shouldn't do it that way either. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that that's kind of like the dark side of this really awesome ability to learn from each other. And so it's almost like managing sort of that, knowing that that's like the flip side of the coin, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm. um can you explain it more? Can you say something more about it?
Yeah, I think that, okay, so I've thought about this. I think that I think we women are really good at learning from each other. I think it's something that we actually do a lot. Like we'll sit around and we'll talk about stuff that's going on in our lives, and instead and we have this ability to be like really open and listen to it and kind of apply that stuff to our own lives and just really think about it and learn about it. Like I think we have this ability to do this that
Yes, yes, you're right. Yeah, I think women are more open to listen to different ideas and for to different things and apply them in their own life. Yes, we do it all the time, I think.
yeah.
I don't know about how, because sometimes men, they don't talk to each other much. Maybe that's the reason, or I don't know. Sometimes I feel why we have so much to talk as ladies. We always want to talk to someone, and it's always a always good to talk. Whenever you talk to someone like your friend, or if your man is listening to you, you feel so good that someone is listening to me.
Yeah.
And many a times you are saying things, maybe just to listen yourself. Like, it's in your head, but you want to verbalize those things, and so that you can also hear that. With
Yeah.
me, it happens many a times. I'm on a call, I'm talking to my friend, and I exactly know that what I'm saying and what she is about to tell me, I figure it out everything. But sometimes I want to just hear it out, yeah, for myself as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, one of the things that we talk about
I feel it's very important.
Yeah, I think so too. One of the things we talk about in our, like, when we give workshops is talk about listening and like how to be a good listener and that kind of stuff. And one of the things that we say is the human brain has the ability to process 900 words per minute, but we can only speak 150 words per minute. And so speaking it out is almost like it helps us to pick out like the most important ones, like help us to even figure out what's going on up there in our brains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel so. Because sometimes if you have a problem, so sometimes you don't actually want the solution. You know the solution in your head. But when you talk to someone about your problem, and when you're explaining your problem, you get the solution like this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that simple. But
Yeah.
sometimes you keep turning it in your mind, and you're not able to understand it or maybe apply it in your situation. But when you talk to your friend or to your sister or whoever, then I feel that it's easier to understand and to apply and to find the answer.
Yeah.
With me, it happens. Like when I'm talking to someone, then my answers come to me like this.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think everyone is different. Some people, they sit in silence and then they get the answer, but I get my answers when I'm talking to someone.
Yeah.
And while I'm
So
talking, I just
in the comments in Facebook, Holly has said, "My ladies help keep me sane," and I feel that same way. And I think that there's like kind of something around this that, yeah, it helps me understand it. And then so Kristen said something. This is super interesting. Kristen said, "I feel there is a lot of pressure on females to be perfect. I think we absorb that pressure and judge others before we know we aren't perfect." Very deep, Kristen.
very deep. Yes, I can understand. And I think this is the reason why we get jealous also. Don't you feel that way? Because we keep judging ourselves in everything, like how we look, how we work, how we walk, how we talk. Every time we are judging ourselves with some other female, or so that's the reason. That's the biggest reason to get jealous of other female. Uh, to counter this, what I practice, I've started loving myself more and more, and I tell me every time. So last few months I'm practicing, and it's working for me.
Yeah.
So I think this pressure of being perfect, I feel you need to tell yourself you are perfect the way you are.
Yeah, that's kind
I
of,
tell myself we make mistakes, we make silly things, but maybe that's perfect about me. That's me because I'm unique.
yeah, that's awesome.
So I take it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Kristen.
take it that
So
way.
Kristen said there's another.
Christine, what do you say?
She said, "Openness comes when you accept the fact that perfection is unattainable, in my opinion." And I think that's the way that I deal with it. So instead of me saying I'm perfect the way that I am, it makes me feel a little crazy if I start getting that way, because then I just get back into the perfectionism cycle. So for me, it's much more of the like, dude, I am messed up and I am not going to be perfect at stuff. And if I tell myself that over and over and over again, then I can calm down about stuff, you know, then I feel better about it. Yeah, so Helen said, okay, so Helen has something about brotherhood. Charasela said something super interesting. She said, I think that nobody can put more pressure than we allow it.
Yes. I think no one else can put a pressure on us other than ourselves. Who put pressure on ourselves? Nobody because every thing is in our head. Because I want to see somewhere at a position. Me who have decided that, okay, this is perfect, perfect. Like we tell ourselves, oh, how silly you are. What you have done. Before someone outside said it to us, we say it to ourselves first.
Yeah.
I think so. Here, I believe that we need to have a better relationship with ourselves first, then it goes out. Because I believe that everything is your. I feel life is like whatever you see outside, it's your own reflection. So if I'm in or I'm like beating myself for anything, so then it comes from outside as well.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, ladies, I have experienced it. I have experienced it all the time. If I'm beating myself up, someone from outside or same thing to me. And if I'm loving myself, if I'm appreciating myself, so I get appreciation for a very, very small, little or silly thing. So I feel we need to accept ourselves first. That's very important.
That's so true. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting for me when I really work like super consciously on not judging myself and not beating myself up about stuff. If somebody says something to me that I know I've taken as judgment in the past, it doesn't have any kind of an impact on me. Like I'll just be like, you know, that's cool. Like that's your perspective on it, and it's probably a valid perspective. Like I don't feel bad about the fact that that's, you know what I mean? So like I totally agree with what you said, Shika, that like what you put out into the world is what you receive back. And I think that that's I think it's so important, and I think it's so true. And one of the other things that I have recognized inside of myself is that when I have worked a lot on not being judgmental about something, so being judgmental, it's a big issue with me. I judge myself.
Yeah.
I'm very, very.
Yeah, we all do like that. Even I am very judgmental. I want to just this is the one field where I want to work, and I'm working. I'm trying my best. But still, it's a it's a thing which we have learned from our childhood.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to unlearn things. Yeah, we need to work hard for them.
Yeah.
So judgment is one thing.
Yeah, I think so too. So, okay. So Helen said.
We need to work on that.
Helen said, so I think that we need the sisterhood because we are women. I think it's equally important for men to have their brotherhood. I actually think having those groups help us to work out what we think with people who are similar to us before we take those views out to our other groups, e.g. us interacting with our men and vice versa. I so agree with that. Like, I can't tell you how much I tell John that he needs to go hang out with his men and spend more time with his brotherhood and all of this kind of stuff because he's a better person. And here's what I tell him. I'm like, you need to go talk to people so you understand what an amazing wife I am. And I think that, so this is the deal. Like, we all, this is my personal, my perception of it, if I was married to your husband, Shika, like if I was married to Yogi, I would go nuts because he's not my person. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I chose John because John's like the more laid back one, and he has all of these
Yes.
things that complement us, that complement each
That
other.
is true. That
You
is so
know?
true. That is so true.
And so
Yes.
it gives
Yes.
me great
You're right.
appreciation for the things that work for me. When you and I talk, when you're like, oh, Yogi was like off and running around and doing all this stuff or whatever, I'm like, oh my gosh, I would die. That would kill me because it doesn't work for my personality, because I need somebody who,
Yes. Yes.
I do that too much. Like I run around. And so I need somebody who balances me out. And so it's not saying that Yogi's bad at all.
Who balance you? Yeah.
He's wonderful. It's just that like it makes me have appreciation for John.
Yeah, we also say in our rating, he's the one who runs around.
I can't hear you, Shika. You're cutting in and out. Oh, okay. So Shika, I can't hear you. So I'm gonna look at. Oh, you're back. So there's another thing that Terasela says here, which says many times the judgmental thoughts are not ours, but to our parents or other educators from our early childhood. I think that that's totally true. And Terasela, like for me as a mom, that will totally like freak me out whenever I think about that kind of stuff, because I'll be like, I need to be a more perfect mom, or whatever. And I think that what I try to tell myself about that stuff so that I don't freak out about it too much. Shika, can you hear me?
Yes. Now there was a disturbance in between me.
Okay. Yes. So Terasela said something in here. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So for like you were saying that you many times you think that you can be a mother, you are not a perfect. Because now my son is, as that he's 26-year-old. With him. I could have other day she's supposed to happen. You did it that way. Can you hear me?
It cut out again. Say that again.
Is it better now? Can you hear me?
It's definitely better now.
Yes. So I was telling you that you're talking about the motherhood, that we always think that we can do better. So like I'm out of that phase now. My son is 26-year-old. So I have done what I have done. But yes, you're right. I feel sometimes that I was a very strict mother. So now I feel that I could have given him some more liberty as a child, which I haven't given him. So the other day I was just talking to him. I was talking to him that, how do you feel? What kind of a mother was I? So I said, you were perfect. You were fine. Because of you, I am what I am today. So though I feel he's a very good boy, I feel always proud of him when I see his conduct in the social structure, and when I talk to him, when he comes up with such sensible things. So I'm always proud of that. So maybe that's a good result. I think then I pat myself. You did a good job. But in hearts of heart, you feel sometimes.
I think that this is something, again, I try to tell myself this over and over again, of like, there's so many ways to raise a child. And if we all did it exactly the same, the world would be such a boring place, And so I know no matter what that I'm gonna mess up with my kids. And so I'm hoping that because of that I'll be able to teach them forgiveness as well. You know what I mean? That I'll be able to teach them out of that like, I am not perfect, and I don't expect you to be perfect either. And tell them like, hey, I know I messed this up, and I hope that you can forgive me for it, because I'm sorry that I messed you up. I'm sorry that I messed up as a mom. And I know I totally
Yeah.
put some bad voices in your head too, and I'm sorry
Yes.
because I totally love you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Because I feel there is no perfect way of parenting. Depends. It depends. There is no formula. There's no
yeah,
formula for parenting that you'll do 2 plus 2 and it'll become 4. It's
yeah,
not like that.
yeah,
It's very situational, I think.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
very, very situational.
yeah,
And if the end result is good, you should be happy, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Because
And one thing which I always feel and I felt during when I was raising Kshitij, I felt it too, that many a times we exactly behave like our parents, and that to that part which we hated as a child.
I know.
Can you yeah. So then and there you need to hold yourself. I used to tell myself, oh, I'm sounding like my mom, and I hated it. So I just go back or just remove myself from the situation and go back and then come back again with
Yeah,
whatever situation is there. So this is one thing we need to think about, that we should not repeat our parents' mistakes, because they were also doing their best that time. Whatever they felt right for us, they did that. I will not say that they were wrong or something. They did their best. Uh, with whatever knowledge or whatever awareness they had or whatever uh, evolution they had that time, I think they did the best.
yeah,
So I'm not
yeah.
saying that, I'm not criticizing that, but the thing is that if you hated something of your parents, don't do it with your children, with
So this
children.
is super interesting. This goes to like conscious leadership, which is basically taking stuff from our unconscious and bringing it to that level of consciousness so that we can make a choice, so that we can make a decision
Yes.
about it. So I think that that's super important as moms, to do that, to like bring it to that awareness level, to be conscious about it. And one of the things that I have realized, Shika, is that some of the things that I hated that my mom did when we were little, I have seen myself doing it in a conscious way, and I have made the conscious decision to do it. Because while I didn't understand it as a child and while I hated it as a child, now as an
Yes.
adult, I totally
Yeah.
understand why she did it that
Yes.
way. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
there you go,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That is also true. That is also true. Some of the things you will understand, as your parents always used to say, you will understand when you
yeah,
will become a parent
yeah,
yourself. And
yeah,
that is so true.
I
There are
know.
many things which you understand when you become a mother
Yeah,
or a father.
yeah,
Because as a child, you can't understand in what context they are talking, in what do they mean. But when you become in that environment, decode that, okay, it's because of that. So
yeah,
there are there are some things which you have to do as a parent.
yeah.
That is
Yeah,
so true.
so Charles Taylor has she said, perfection is not natural and do not allow us to grow. So that's how I feel about it. And it's super interesting because my mom likes to say, I am perfect all the time. Like she says about herself, she's like, I am perfect, I am perfect, I am perfect, which I think held her back for a while. And maybe it still does, whatever. And I think that she's trying to embrace this idea that that her imperfections are perfect, also kind of what you were saying before, Shika. So I think that it's very much that, like, find the words that are going to help you the most and help you move forward and grow, like Charasela said, instead of, because that's what matters, like whatever the words are that helps you to move forward, that's, I think, going to be the thing that gets you to where you need to be. So she said, struggling to be a good mom, I realized that I used to copy my father's attitude. Then I started to focus more on myself instead of my children. I think I have had the exact same thing, Teresa, where I was like, I need to fix my own boat before I can ever figure this out for the kids. And my kids have helped me fix my boat. Like my kids have taught me so much about myself. And as they grow, they even teach me more about myself. And that has definitely, it's, yeah. And I agree. I think we have to be very conscious about what's going on in ourselves. It's that saying of like, we got to fix our own house before we can fix anybody. We got to clean our own house before we can take care of anything else, you know?
Yeah, I think that is very important, that generally in a normal scenario, everybody is fixing someone or something, and we forget to fix ourselves. And I'm telling you that we can only fix ourselves. We cannot fix it, other person. We cannot.
I know, which is super annoying.
That is the hard truth. That is the hard truth. But we spend all our lives to fix something or someone. Either we try and fix the situation or we try and fix the person, but we never work on ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we are perfect.
Yeah.
In that case, we are perfect.
I know. Oh, we're totally perfect. Exactly. I know. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're kind of starting to get a little bit to the end of this. So I wanted to give you guys one of the things that we do when we go around and we do leadership development. We do something that's called designing the alliance. And I actually think that this is super helpful for friendships as well. And I think that if we did this, almost even like intentionally out loud did this, I think that it would help us women to in our interacting with each other. So we kind of come up with a couple of agreements. And the very first one is no judgment.
Yeah.
And that means like you can't judge myself. I can't judge myself. I can't judge the people that are around me, or we're going to try really hard to not do this. And we're going to try to not judge the system either. And I think that is something that is, if we can just get that one thing and have like the courage to call each other out on the judgment when we're like, whoa, I hear you judging yourself about stuff. Don't judge yourself, you know? I think that's amazing. Yeah. So that's the first one, is no judgment. The second one is 100% confidentiality, which means if we're talking to each other about stuff, we're not going to go tell anybody else about this stuff. And I think that's something I struggled with so much when I was younger. I was such a gossip when I was younger. And I think that and it destroyed me on the inside. You know, I could feel it.
We all loved gossip. It's always so tempting.
I know, right? And it's like, if you
but now we are getting conscious of it, so we can,
just put a heart, just be like, nope, it's a rule. Just don't, no matter what, just don't, no matter what. Yeah, I love that. And then the third one that we do is infinite love, which just means that like we're going to be loving to each other, even if hard things are said or whatever, we're going to know that it's said with massive amounts of love, and that's really, really, really important in that space. And then the fourth one that we've kind of thrown in, which I really, really like, is we're going to respect each other a lot. You know, we all come with so many different life experiences. We've all done so much stuff with my girlfriends and everything. Everyone's had so much life experience. Even if they don't realize it about themselves, I realize it about them, you know, and I see the amazing things that they've done. And so when we can approach each other with that respect, I think...
Can I say something here? Can I say something here? As you said that we should respect each other, it used to be with me sometimes. If I see some lady who's not well educated or she's not dressing well, I always used to judge her that, oh, what did you tell me? What do you know? Like those kind of things. But now I'm a much better place, I think. I'm working on it. I'm over it, I think now. So I can learn from my maid. Like in India, you know, we get people working for us. So if my maid also come, I can learn
so
thing or two from her also. You can learn so much. The way they are leading their lives, it's commendable. In so much of problems, still they come happy and they talk to me happily. So I learned that. So I can see that power in that lady also who's
Yeah.
working for me,
Yeah.
who's financially not well off, who's not educated, but still I can see that light in her.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and so this is, I like to always say love is a choice. And I think that respect is also a choice. Like we can just choose. We're just going to choose to respect the other person. Even if we don't really kind of like understand why or whatever, we're just going to make the choice. It's just a choice on the inside of like, I'm going to respect this person and what they've gone through in life. So I think it's important.
Yeah.
So Kristen said, it's easy to forget about ourselves when life is so crazy. I usually put myself on the back burner. I totally
we all do that.
Yeah.
We all do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that this is one of the reasons why friends and having a tribe is so important, because we will be like,
they bring you back. Yeah.
They'll be like, stop it. You need to spend some time for yourself, you know?
Yeah.
They give you the space, almost like the space to think about stuff and to have that space around you. So,
true.
All right. Well, so, I mean, that's about it, ladies. So the main thing, the one little tip or tool or whatever you want to call it, that I sort of wanted to say was this one about designing an alliance of no judgment, 100% confidential, infinite love, and respect for each other. And I think that is, it's really cool when we design our spaces for the leadership development using these and making sure that this is like our safe container that we're in. And I think that it's something that we could all take with us as we're going out and interacting with our friends and our sisters and everyone, and being like, this is the way that we want to intentionally design this space too. And I'm sure there are so many other things that we could put into that space. So if you guys think of any other things to put into that space, throw down, and you can write it in there. And it's super helpful for us as we're going around to have more of these ideas, because we all have so much wisdom. It's like that respect thing. We all have so much wisdom to give to each other. So
True.
All right. That's it for me. I'm sick. I'm gonna go drink tea now. Thank you so much for joining me. You are beautiful.
Thank you.
And thanks to you ladies for joining us too. Thanks for being a part of our talks. And we'll see you next Tuesday, okay?
Bye.